You tried to burn down Martin Luther King Jr.'s house? Now, we all know Martin Luther King Jr. is a historic icon of the civil rights movement, but more than that, he's a pillar of the world. Just after 5:45 on Thursday, the Atlanta Police Department was alerted to an occurrence, a disturbance, at the actual residence where Martin Luther King Jr. was born. Two off-duty NYPD officers were restraining an individual that they say had attempted to burn down Martin Luther King Jr.'s home. The police officers had detained a 26-year-old Laneisha Shantrice Henderson, who's now charged with a criminal attempt of arson and criminal attempt of interference with government property. Some witnesses, tourists from Utah, were in the area. They were visiting the Martin Luther King historic home when they saw this woman trying to burn down the place. As we look at this footage, we can see why the tourists were like wondering, is she working on the house or what is she doing? Look how nonchalant she is. She's just throwing gasoline like she's watering the flower. According to the Atlanta Fire Department, if it wasn't for the fast actions of these two tourists, they don't know what would have happened to the house. It may have burnt all the way down. This was a horrible act of vandalism, and the woman had done a lot. This could have been devastating. A close call like this only highlights the need for security for our landmarks. From the mentally insane or the mentally deranged or those suffering mental illness and those heinous folks as well. This incident is not isolated. There's been others. There was the Lincoln Monument Memorial, and then there was a Ulysses S. Grant Monument in San Francisco that have also been targeted. The selection of these monuments seems to be based on one thing, or a couple things: ignorance to the historical significance and hatred. Now, I don't know if that's the case with this particular individual, but historically, that's been the case. And it was also noted, I read that the father and sisters showed up at the scene. They were trying to get their sister. They knew their sister was off her medication or going through an episode, and apparently she must have told them where she was going or something. They tracked her down using her cell phone, her smartphone, and found her at the location. They were there. They arrived while the police were there, and they were like, hey, she don't mean no harm. She got problems. No, she meant some harm. She definitely meant some harm. But she has problems. I agree with that part. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look, guys, there was a World War II monument in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was defaced with a symbol of communism. Also, a memorial commemorating an African-American regiment that fought in the Civil War was defaced with graffiti in Boston. Man, what is going on with people with destroying stuff? Now, look, I get it with the Confederate stuff. I'm trying to get rid of the Confederate monuments. I mean, if you're a Jewish person, how would you like that people had monuments to the Nazis? That's how black people look at the monuments to the Confederate flag. I mean, that's, us black people that have a shred of dignity. To some Americans who are still caught in the middle on the Confederate stuff. That doesn't mean black folks want all monuments destroyed. We don't. How about just the ones that harken back to a time when we were considered less than human, subhuman, and that we had no rights and that we were property? How about we just give it to those? It boggles the mind how some people act like this is too big an ask from citizens who helped build the country against their will for free that we all enjoy, right? We all enjoy, you don't want to give us reparations, and you don't want to take down your shitty monuments that celebrate a time when we had no rights. And then you say, why can't we just all get along? There I go going on a tangent again, man. There I go telling the truth, I did notice that there were some people that were saying, oh my God, this thing that just happened, they tried to destroy Martin Luther King's birth home. It must be a tether, which is someone in the African diaspora who comes to America. And we've saw the benefits of the civil rights movement, of all the hard work that black people have done. But they're not black, but they look black. And, we got this running thing, this feud. Well, some of us do online anyway. It's like a back and forth argument online where they take a dump on blacks, foundational black Americans, which are blacks that are born in this country who are descendants from the formerly enslaved in the United States, born and bred in the United States. And then there's people who immigrate to the United States who look like brothers, but then when you speak to them, it's like a boo-boo, 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 boo-boo. What I'm saying is there's a lot of tension online about that right now, and they go back and forth about, sometimes these people who look black but aren't black, but they come from black-looking countries, they have the skin tone of black Americans. Some of them online are saying some really horrible stuff, so I get why there's animosity. What I'm saying is that this woman, Laneisha Shantrice Henderson, she black. She regular black. She is African-American black, black American foundational black, ADOS, whatever. She black. She black. Because they may still our music, our dress, our acting, and various other aesthetics, pieces of our culture, people from the African diaspora, but they ain't still in our names. Now, I think you could keep them. Sisters from Ghana, you can go ahead and keep the names, Sharkeisha. So, nah, this was a regular black. The sister who did this appears to be someone who was off their medication, as I stated earlier, had some psychological issues, and luckily no one was hurt. She was apprehended. She's going to be charged. Now, the charges can get substantial because we are talking about damaging or attempting to destroy or damage federal property, because this is a historic site. And when it's an historic site, it is protected under federal law. So those charges could be substantial. What I'm hoping is that she gets the same type of leeway that we give white folks who are off their medications. Yeah, don't treat her like you treat sisters who are off their medication, black women. Because I remember back in D.C. about 10 years ago, there was a black woman who drove too close to the U.S. Capitol and she shot that car about 15 times. She was hearing voices when she decided to brush up against a barrier or something. So don't treat her like that. Treat her like you treat the average white person who's off their medication when you take them for burgers or what have you. White person off their medication could come up to the cops with a knife in hand, wearing no clothes, and then just be like, okay, it's all right. Oh, you got a knife? Don't stab me. Please don't stab me. And then they run around like Benny Hill, around the car, around the cruiser for about 20 minutes till they could talk them down. Look, there will never, ever be another Martin Luther King Jr. birth home. Let's treat it with that respect and make sure we institute the type of safeguards necessary to maintain and secure these places. I know in D.C. we have the Frederick Douglass home, and I would hate for something to happen to that. And there's historic sites like this all across the country. Let's do a better job of protecting them. And that's another thing. Let's look at the bright side of this. This could have been one of them neo-Nazi skinheads, one of those jackbooting, gun-shooting, tobacco-spitting rednecks who destroyed it or tried to destroy it, and we dodged the bullet here. We're in a holiday season. It's better to be reminded that we got people with mental health issues than we have hating-ass rednecks trying to destroy something than Martin Luther King Jr. If I had to choose, I'd rather it be a person who's off their medication. Lord knows, America's got a lot of those people. All right, that's it. My name is Tim Black. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack by going to jointimblack.com. Let's protect our monuments. And please, get this sister some medication. Expeditiously.
Seeking unbiased news? Discover the new Tim Black television network, where truth and integrity lead the way. We're committed to honest reporting and empowering you with factual, unfiltered information. Join a community that values transparency and critical thinking. Ready for news that respects your intelligence? Visit jointimblack.com. Embrace the change, because at Tim Black Television Network, our truth matters. Sign up today for a new kind of news experience. It's a new day.